Good morning, students. I am Manikant Mishra, Modern English School, New Area. So, yesterday we have discussed about the existence of some fundamental particles inside an atom. It was proved that atom is made up of electron, proton and neutron. This scientist experienced it by performing the different experiment like one as we have yesterday mentioned, like by rubbing the two substances, the substance acquired charge. This charge is acquiring of charge reveals, supports that there is some charge particle or transference takes place from one body to another, and as a result both the body acquires charge. So my dear student, to extend this information, to further justify it, really these fundamental particles are present in an atom, J.J. Thomson performed a discharge tube experiment. So today we are going to discuss what is a discharge tube experiment that was performed by J.J. Thomson. Now, finally credit goes to J.J. Thomson, but in the beginning, this experiment was performed by the three scientists, J.J. Thomson, Plucker and Crookes. So that's why discharge tube is also known as Crookes tube. So let us see that what is a discharge tube experiment. In a discharge tube is a long glass cylindrical tube which is closed at both ends. It is a long cylindrical glass tube which is closed at both the ends. It is a long cylindrical glass tube which is closed at both ends. There is a side tube. It is about the 50 centimeter long. Discharge tube is a long cylindrical glass tube which is closed at both ends, and there is a side tube. Both the end of a discharge tube is fitted with electrode. Both the ends of a discharge tube is fitted with the metallic plate which is known as an electrode. Now, the metallic plate which is connected to the negative source of current is called cathode, and the metallic plate which is connected to the positive source of current is called anode. Metallic plate which is connected to the negative terminal of source of current is called cathode, and the metallic plate which is connected to the positive source of current is called anode. Now 10,000 volt is applied. Now inside some gases are taken. Inside the discharge tube, gas is taken, and the voltage is 10,000 volt. Now let us switch on inside the pressure of the discharge tube is normal atmospheric pressure. The pressure of gas inside the discharge tube is normal 1 atm, 1 atmospheric pressure. What we experience pressure, that is a normal atmospheric pressure. Now my dear student, as we know that the gases are poor conductor of electricity. Gases are generally poor conductor of electricity. So when electricity is allowed to pass inside the discharge tube, nothing happens inside the discharge tube. When the current is allowed to pass, then we observe that nothing is happening inside the discharge tube, because gases are poor conductor of electricity. Now here is a side tube. The objective of putting the side tube is through which air can be pumped out. Like you see in your cycle, there is a valve through which you are putting the air inside the tube. With the help of the pump, you are putting the air inside the tube. But it is just opposite of it. With the vacuum pump is a pump through which we evacuate air from an inside. So with the help of vacuum pump, the pressure inside the discharge tube is reduced to 10 to the power minus 2 atm. How much? We are reducing the pressure of inside the discharge tube by 1 by 100 atm or 10 to the power minus 2 atm. So when we do, and then you allow the electric current to pass, then we see whole discharge tube starts to glow. Whole discharge tube starts to glow. The objective of supplying high voltage is to subject the molecules to dissociate the molecules into atoms. To objective of supplying high voltage, objective of supplying high voltage, that high voltage is responsible to dissociate. Suppose we have H2. This high voltage, what it does, it dissociates the hydrogen molecule into hydrogen atom. It dissociates the hydrogen molecule into hydrogen atom, and thereafter there is a electron is coming out from the hydrogen. In the beginning, what happens when you are supplying the current? This electrode, this cathode, emits the negatively charged particle. That negatively charged particle takes out the electron from the hydrogen atom also. So what happens? There is so many electrons are present inside the discharge tube. So all these negatively charged particle, this group of negatively charged particle flowing where? Towards the positive. This group of electrons flowing towards the anode. As a result, what happens? this electron strikes to the wall of the discharge tube, and inside the wall it is coated with some fluorescent material. On the wall it is coated with fluorescent material like zinc sulfide. So when it strikes this negatively charged particle, there is a bombardment takes place. This negatively charged particle strikes to the wall of the discharge tube. As a result, the glowing takes place. So if further pressure is reduced to 10 to the power 4 atm, when the pressure is further reduced with the help of vacuum pump. With the help of vacuum pump, pressure is further reduced, then we observe that the glowing disappears. But behind the anode, glowing is taking place. So this was supported by why it happens. The J.J. Thomson said that this negatively charged particles strikes or bombarded with the wall of the discharge tube, and the discharge tube is coated with a zinc sulfide, due to which there is a fluorescence is developed, color is emitted. Now the color depends on the nature of the gas taken inside the discharge tube. The color of the light depends on the nature of the gas taken inside the discharge tube. So my dear student, once again, when the pressure was reduced to 10 to the power minus 2 atm and the electricity was allowed to pass, then whole discharge tube starts to glow. But when the pressure is further reduced by 10 to the power minus 4 atm, then glowing stops. But behind the anode, the glowing is taking place. This was explained by J.J. Thomson. He said some negatively charged particles are coming from the cathode, which strikes to the wall of the discharge tube, due to which there is a glowing takes place. Since these particles, the rays are coming from the cathode, the rays which are coming from the cathode, which is responsible for the bombardment of the discharge tube behind the anode, as a result there is a fluorescence is developed. So these rays are called cathode rays because these rays are coming from the cathode. So he named it as a cathode rays. So cathode rays is responsible for the development of the fluorescence. Now he further studied about the properties of the cathode rays. J.J. Thomson further studies about these properties of the cathode rays, and he found that this cathode rays is made up of negatively charged particle. Cathode rays is made up of negatively charged particle, and he said this negatively charged particle is called electron. When he further studies the properties of the cathode rays, he said the cathode rays is made up of negatively charged particle called electron. And the charge carried by this particle is equal to the negative of 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. negative of, first of all, what I said, this cathode rays consists of negatively charged particle, and he called it as electron, and charge carried by this electron is equal to minus 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. And the charge carried by any fundamental particle, any particle is the smallest. The charge carried by any particle is the smallest charge, so it is considered as minus 1. So the absolute charge of electron is 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, but the relative charge is minus 1 coulomb. Minus 1 is the relative charge. Minus 1 is the relative charge. And mass, the mass of electron is very small, which is a mass of electron is equal to 1 by 1840 times the mass of hydrogen. Mass of hydrogen. J.J. Thomson further, as I said, when he further studies about the properties of the cathode rays, he found this cathode rays is made up of negatively charged particle. Charge possessed by this particle is equal to minus 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. The charge carried by any particle is the smallest charge. Charge possessed by any particle is the smallest charge, so it has taken as 1. So charge, relative charge of electron is minus 1. Minus 1. Charge carried by electron is minus 1. Now, mass of electron is very small, very small, which is equal to 1 by 1840 times the mass of hydrogen. Mass of electron is equal to 1 by 1840 times the mass of hydrogen. See, the mass of hydrogen is very small. That's why while calculating the mass of an atom, the mass of electron is neglected. We do not take into account the mass of electron while calculating the mass of an atom, because mass of atom is very small. Like absolute mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram. This is a relative charge now. This mass of electron is 1 by 1840 times the mass of hydrogen. But the absolute charge of electron is, mass of electron is equal to mass of electron equals to 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram. So, my dear students, please watch the video carefully, and if you have any doubt, then please let me know. Now these days you people are not watching the video, that's why you don't have any problem. When you watch the video, then only you will feel that a certain place you could not understand, or you need some clarification. So you are not watching the video, that's why you are not facing any kind of problem. So please watch the video honestly, sincerely, and if you have any doubt, please let me know. Thank you. Have a nice day.